of the program today, and I kind of want to start it off with this one, saying, man, the game, he announced, man, that he was paying homage to Nipsey Hussle, and he pretty much, said that he would be, launching a clothing company called Prolific Clothing.
Yeah.
And he said today that he put it up and sold out within 30 minutes. But as soon as he put that up, saying, man, he received a lot of backlash from the people. Now, here's one of the comments. They said the game is an effing clown trying to profit off of Nipsey. Somebody put the game's been corny as F and doing the most since Nipsey's death. Selling T-shirts and starting a record label called Prolific Records isn't shocking. He's a clown. Now, the game did defend himself. He came back. He left a long statement. He said, I'm only addressing this because of the very few people upset or bothered by the Prolific Clothing Company and merch. He said, number one, the word prolific by myself was only my way of helping to carry on my bro legacy. Any merch that has been sold has been my face on it, my albums, and all my pictures, logos, etc. And they're related to the game out of love for Nips. Black Sam, his immediate family, etc. I purposely did not include any pictures of Nip nor his likeness and directed all traffic to the Marathon Clothing Company. Now, when you look, you see the Marathon did actually post that they will be selling a Prolific t-shirt. So that's true. So he says, as far as that I've done since my bro's death passing, I've spoken closely to Black Sam every step of the way, and I have his blessings with the things to help honor his brother's name and continue his legacy. I've only done things I feel bro would have done to keep me going if I was no longer here in the physical. Before assuming passing judgment or running to the internet to be negative, DM me or hit me, and I will be happy to respond or elaborate further to as many people as I can. And again, prolific and or the use of it for any monetary gain has to be cleared or consented by, says that the real Faith Evans. She's owned the Prolific Music Group for over 15 years. My heart is pure, and so are my intentions. I wish all who reads this a blessed day. Hashtag TMC. Now, the game left that statement today to try to clear things up, saying, man, what's your initial thoughts when you heard this, man? Do you think that he is genuine, or do you think that he is trying to really profit off his name? Or like, are the people that's coming at him, is that legitimate?
All right, I'll answer your first question. Do I think that he's genuine? I do. But the people that are coming at him have their right to come at him. And I'm glad that he made the response that he did, and he opened the door to have people ask him questions a little further if they so wish to, because like we've given game criticism for in the past is, I don't want to say kind of just enjoying himself in these kind of situations and monetizing these kind of situations. We talked about the beef with Meek Mill, or you talked about this at length to me behind the scenes and on camera. We've seen him just kind of be this character, and so to speak, when it comes to stirring up beef, you know what I mean, getting that kind of attention. When Nip passed away, he was one of the people really, really, really extra with just the Nipsey dedications and things like that. And I even personally gave criticism to it. But when I look at this, and when you gave your perspective on it behind the scenes, I'm like, yeah, you know what, that makes sense. And this is this. It affected everybody. It affected everybody harder than we thought. It affected you. It affected it affected everybody, including the game, who's sitting right here, who knew that man personally, who maybe felt it real hard. So he probably, in his heart of hearts, felt like he was doing the right thing. And he did in clearing it with his brother, his family, things like that.
What do you feel about him profiting off of, that? Because obviously he's going to be profiting off his name, whether he says it or not. He is, officially now.
He went through all the right avenues to do it and everything. But when he initially thought of this, he knew what it was going to do.
Yeah.
Even the prolific, because when I think of prolific, I'm thinking of Nick.
I don't think that would that be considered you like biting or stealing somebody's idea to a certain extent a little bit. Like if God forbid, one of us, and somebody takes it, a name that we used, and put it on their clothing brand, and they's cool with us. I mean, he cleared with the family, but it's still like you couldn't come up with nothing different.
I agree.
I mean, I'm not saying what I'm saying. I can understand people's, concern.
Yeah, and I agree. And I agree with that.
Right.
I could not disagree with that. There could have been plenty of things that he came out with. He didn't use Nip's face. and appreciate that.
Use his word though that he used, but yeah.
Like I said, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He definitely knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I would say this, man. Yeah, Game, alluding to the situation, with Meek and everything. He made himself look like a clown in a lot of situations. I think the criticism is definitely warranted. But me personally, if you would ask me my opinion, I would go out and say that I think that the Game is genuine. And, a lot of people criticize, him because pretty much almost every day he was posting something about Nipsey. He was going in, and there's been a lot of people that have been called out by people closer to Nipsey than Game that called out some people. They didn't call him by name, but they said, a lot of these people, was trying to clout chase and profit off Nipsey's name. But a lot of people profited off Nipsey's name. And to be honest, I think Nipsey, this is what Nipsey, not to say that he would have wanted him to put, the prolific name, and take the name, but Nipsey Hussle is his name. So people make hustles. I mean, we went to LA, we went to the Marathon Clothing Company. They wasn't selling the t-shirts, but somebody had t-shirts out there. We got t-shirts walking through the streets of LA. And we went to the Staples Center.
Yeah,
we
the BET Awards, I think.
Yeah, the BET Awards. So it's just like, you know what I mean? This is business, this is this commerce at the end of the day. Mad people that put their videos up on YouTube, people that, people with the websites, CNN, they made money. Everybody made money off of this story, title, et cetera, et cetera. So again, I think the Game is genuine. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me in the comment section here on YouTube, but I do understand the criticism. Now, I don't know. I ask you this: do you think that this will force him to back off of it now?
No.
At this point, yeah, you're gonna make it
sold out in 30 minutes.
It's on.
Hell no.
Right.
And that next shipment of t-shirts is going to be out popping real soon.
Do you really think that it's true that because he's telling us that he cleared it with Black Sam? What I mean, obviously. We know it's true because they did post it. The Marathon did post that name. So
yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah.
We don't know the Game. I don't know him. We've heard stories. I love his music. Got an album coming out in November, Born to Rap 2, if I'm not mistaken, or Born to Rap. It's coming out in November. I think it's going to be his last album. Always loved his music, but just the other side, the character side, was always kind of made you look, I don't know.
And and that's the thing, that not that we can, just because he did some, fugazi shit in the past, that means that, we can't correlate that to him taking Nipsey's name and using it, I don't think. But we did see him, what do they call it? Capping, that they call it now, lying in certain situations. I've seen it with my own eyes firsthand. I mean, he called Meek Mill snitch, rat, everything like that. Then, 2 years later, now he come back on his knees, calling to Meek, begging for his friendship, which is cool. We don't want to not promoting beef or anything, but it's funny because people calling Tekashi a snitch. He went to the, and so what's the difference if you calling Meek Mill that, which he never showed any proof, but he called him that. So people calling Tekashi a snitch. So what if you go back and talk to Tekashi now? It's the same thing. So, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it with the Game and other situations where he misrepresented himself, but ultimately love the man's music, but I gotta keep it a G on. Gotta keep a G on that joint right there.
You got to. And I can't agree with you more, and I disagree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. Love his music. Question some of the antics.
Yeah, even Whack 100. We can always talk about him as manager.
He's a genius. He knows how to market.
Yeah. I mean, you got a lot of geniuses out here,
he knows how to market.
It's just like people see through a lot of the the gimmicks with it, and good for them in their marketing, but we can see through the gimmicks a lot with them. Yeah.
Great marketers.
Yeah, great, and great businessman. Always wanted to speak about. I think he has a trucking business. Well, I know he has a trucking business. He does very well with Whack 100. So that's dope. Absolutely.
All right, to transition a little bit because got to talk about Game some more, unfortunately, because some news came through about him in regards to this assault case back from 2015. Oh God, we did a couple of stories about this. Throughout the years now, the 2015 sexual battery lawsuit against him. Now, according to court documents obtained by XXL, today, the United States Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit affirmed the Northern District of Illinois' Eastern Division decision to dismiss the rapper's request for a retrial in the case of The Game versus model Priscilla Rainey. The jury in the case, which was resolved in November 2016, determined The Game would have to pay a combined $7.1 million to the model. This means The Game will still have to pay money. Now, according to court paperwork, The Game challenged the district court's 3 rulings in the initial case when he motioned for a retrial. He first challenged the judge's decision to dismiss his motion for rescheduling his trial. The district judge determined that Game was making up a story in order to get his trial rescheduled and used social media to make the determination. The second part of Game's challenge was the judge's decision to give the missing witness instruction. That's a legal stipulation where if a party doesn't produce a witness on their own behalf, even though they're able to, it can be assumed that they didn't produce the witness because they felt it would only hurt their case. Game didn't show up to court during the trial, so the Court of Appeals agreed with the court's determination. Additionally challenged the judge's decision to allow video of his verbal bus confrontation with Rainey. He argued that it would be prejudicial, but the district court disagreed, and now so does the Court of Appeals. Oh God, it don't seem like they want him to win in this case.
Yeah.
What do you think about this?
Well, it's saying he didn't show up.
It did say that.
Yeah, so it's just like, first I want to know, obviously we know what the accusation is, but like what type of evidence, from the first place, obviously